How you doing, people? Robert here. Sorry about the delay in videos. So this is me on the road to the videos again for the channel. Recently, numerous people have contacted myself via private messages on Facebook, through family and friends. And these people are people that's just awoke to what's going on, and they don't understand exactly what's going on. So they've asked myself to assist them. So what I'm going to do, people, to start the video is rolling again on the video channel, is I'm going to go back to basics to try and help the people that's contacted myself, that's just woke up to the fraud that's being perpetrated and committed against the people of Scotland, England, Ireland and Wales. I'm glad that there's more people now woke up, and I'm glad I've got the honour of addressing this matter. A lot of the people I've spoke to that's just woke up has says they've been in contact with numerous people, but the way things have been explained is too complex and they don't understand it because it's too in-depth. And what they've asked myself to do is break it down as simple as I can, to give them a path to travel through, to go the road to get remedy. So I'm going to do that, people. What I want to point out in this video, in the next few videos, and I'll tell you the same thing, this is not for the people that understand and know what's going on. This is for the people that's contacted myself that don't understand and don't know what's going on. Anyway, people, we're going back to basics, and we're going to start with consent. Consent. What is consent, people? Consent is your right to choose, to accept or refuse, to consent or not to consent. That is your lawful right, and no man or woman has the authority to tell you otherwise unless you've committed a crime in law or caused harm to somebody. Now, people are not aware. They give consent away on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and don't even know it, unwittingly. And how they do that, firstly and foremost, is by filling in registration forms and application forms. When you fill these in, people, there's a specific way you're asked to fill them in. The title, Mr, Mrs or Miss. The all capital name must be in all caps letters. The address the same. And when you sign any registration or application form, you create a contract. There is no full disclosure. These people that work for the legal system, legal society, don't tell you this. So you're tricked, and abuse of power kicks in. When you fill these forms in, people, and you put your sign of nature, you're giving consent, and you're giving power over the man or woman to be a person. The all capital name is a fiction. It has no life. It's related to the Crown Copyright Birth Certificate. That is a person. That is not the man or woman. One important question to ask yourself on this very point is, have you ever met your person? Have you ever spoke to your person? Have you ever spoke to your person and shook its hand? Have you had a coffee with this person? Do you know what this person looks like? Well, that's the thing, people. Every time you take a photograph, you create an image. And when you attach it to things like the driving licence, it's presumed that's yourself. And the question is asked, is that you? And 99% of the people will turn around and say, yes. So what they're looking at is a photograph, so you've confirmed you're a fiction. And that's how the police operate. Now, people, let's get two scenarios. A notice, a demand, an order or a summons is for the legal person, it's not for the man or woman. You don't have to accept them. These are offers to perform. And perform is a fiction, in a fictitious world, an illusionist world. It's full of magicians, and trickery is always kicked into touch with the legal system, legal society against the man or woman. Confusing, misleading, and convincing that you are a fiction, which you are not. Now, an example of this would be when a man or woman gets a parking ticket and there's an amount of money asked for on the parking ticket. That is for the fiction, because it comes back from the registration of a vehicle that's registered to the DVLA. right? The DVLA is another corporate fiction that does not exist. There is no man or woman called DVLA. Now, there's two ways that can be dealt with this. Myself, right, people say that when the letters come with the title in the all caps name, or the title and the Robert Sproul, for example, capital R lowercase, capital S Sproul lowercase, just throw it in the bin. You can do that, right? But I know a lot of people is doing that and having a lot of problems right now because of doing that. What you're actually doing is causing a controversy, plus the fact tacit agreement, silence is consent. When you do not rebut something, it stands as fact, and that is a fact, and I can verify that, right? I have first-hand knowledge. What you have to do with a parking ticket, what I do if I get a parking ticket, is I put on the envelope a wee patch to cover the name and address. Addressee not recognised. No contract, no consent, return to sender, and I send it back. That's the first way you can deal with this, people, right? Because anything with a title, uppercase letters or all capital names, is not your name, especially if it's got a title. That's your straw man. The second way to deal with this, if they're persistent, is you can address the company, find out the man or woman who's the chief executive of that company, and write a letter directly to him or her in their private capacity under full personal liability. Not as the title as chief executive officer, because you're letting them escape liability, but as a man or a woman. You can ask them to verify the debt, the contract with 2 wet signatures, and what man or woman is making the claim. You have that lawful right. Firstly, there will be any contract. You've not signed anything. No man or woman will come forward and make a claim, but they will try and use a private corporation to make that claim. A fiction, like DVLA. There is no man or woman called DVLA. And any corporate name on a building, including council, etc., etc. There is no man or woman known by their names. This is how the men and women that represent the legal society, legal system, escape liability. And people have to waken up to this, and quite fast. Now, there's a possibility they'll write back, and there's a possibility they won't. But any future correspondence should just be sent back, especially if it's got a title. Now, the biggest part of the trickery, people, is Robert Sproul and Robert Sproul, right? Anytime I do correspondence or letters or documents, it's always in lowercase, because that makes it unique to who they are addressing, right? Who they're writing to. Robert Sproul, capital R, or for Robert and capital S for Sproul, sounds the same as Robert Sproul, but it isn't actually, because one is for the man and the other is for the person, the fiction. And this is where the criminal conversion kicks in. They criminally convert the name to make you think that you are a person, and that is not the case. You can only be a man or a woman, but you cannot be a person, and that's a verifiable fact. Because I don't know anybody that's met their person, right? Now, council tax is a notice. A notice, people, is an offer. A notice is something telling you that you have to pay attention. It is not a bill, and that's a fact. That's why when you get the council tax notice, it tells you no details about who sent the letter. There's no signature on the letter, it's just a notice. That's because the man or woman that represents that corporation cannot come forward and make the claim, because then they would be personally liable, because they would have to validate the debt, the contract, the bill, and who's making the claim, and they'll not do that. That's why they use corporate names to escape liability, and that's a fact, people. Now, legalese. What is legalese, people? Legalese is word trickery. The words I'm saying to people just now on the camera is the words I mean, and I understand. And these people are on a presumption or assumption, when me having a general conversation with this camera to the people, I would hope, would think that that was the words that was meant. Legalese is a trap, people. It's a con. When you talk to people on a phone that represent a legal system, legal society, There's legalese traps right through the conversation to draw you into a contract you don't even know it. These people have perfected a fraud against the people of Scotland, England, Ireland and Wales. They're good at what they do, and whoever created this system is even better, because they've been getting away with this for centuries, and it's only now that people are picking up on this, and it has to be addressed by men and women, no persons, because there is no persons. The other thing is, these people in the legal system, legal society, want to try and draw you into a controversy. They want to try to get you into court, be in dishonour, by you no responding to this correspondence. I respond to all correspondence, no matter what it is. I address it and I rebut it, and never give them the opportunity to presume that they are right. Once you cause the controversy, like for council tax for instance, right, for the person, and it is for the person, it's not for the man and it's not for the woman, right? It goes to court. These courts, civil or criminal, are corporate places of business. They're there to extort money and equity for the man or the woman. They're there to steal your sons and daughters and your properties and your money from your bank accounts. But the problem you have with the bank accounts and the way they can do this by getting into the bank account and taking the money is because when you filled in your application to open a bank account, you created the fiction. It's the old capital name with the title. And that's verified on your bank cards, people. Just so you can see, it's verified on your statements that they send to tell you how much you've took out, how much you've got in the bank, right? And that's a fact. Now, when you go into these places of business, these so-called courts, the man or woman in capacity of a sheriff or administrator, a clerk, does not care. All the man or woman is interested in who was in dishonour and caused the controversy, and who is going to pay this debt if there is a debt that you're taking to court for. But bear in mind, people, when you go into these places of business and you use a lawyer liar, a whore of Babylon known as solicitor, you give consent, you give jurisdiction away, and you give power over you, because these courts, these judges and these solicitors are all part of the bar. They're all in it together, people. So don't think when you walk in there, they're there for your benefit. They're there to negotiate a deal for their benefit. And the biggest majority of time, you'll have to pay some sort of money back for a debt. There's not too many people win. And the only way you can win is if you've no filled in forms or registrations and committed yourself to a legal agreement, not a contract, because nobody signs it with nobody in the legal system, legal society will sign that with their signature, and that's how they escape liability. It's an agreement, it's not a contract. To be a contract, there's got to be two wet signatures. Full terms and conditions, equal consideration that they bring something to the table and gave it to you, right? That's the things that people have to pay attention to. People, don't give up your consent. Pay attention to what's going on. It's wrong. They know it's wrong, but they don't care. Their main objective is to screw the people, and that's all they're there for. The legal system, the legal society is not there for the man or woman. It's there for the person, and the person's a corporate body. They're incorporated. The name is incorporated. You're a business. You're registered as a business, and that's a fact. Plus the fact, when you go into these places of business, you give away jurisdiction. I hope this information is a wee bit of a start for the people that's asked me to do what I do, and I've did it. I don't want to make it too complex, right? And I don't want to mess up people's brains so they don't understand. I try my best to explain it as easy and simple as I can, and as clear as I can. But remember this, people, you cannot be coerced to do something you don't want to do because it's unlawful or illegal in their world. They cannot force consent from a man or a woman by lawful means. If you owe a debt or you've committed a crime, harmed somebody or damaged their property, then you're liable, or there's a contract. But there is no contract because nobody in the legal system, legal society, will put their name to any documents, including these Mickey Mouse sheriffs or anybody in the legal system, legal society, and that's a fact. Always ask people when you get notification or a notice for a debt to verify the debt, who's making the claim, and the wet signature contract, and the equal consideration that has been given to yourself, the man or woman, that they've brought something to the table to give you something for that value. If there is none of that, then there is no debt, right? And always remember, a notice is not a bill. A notice is there to make you aware that you have to pay attention to something, right? It's so simple, people. And people yet still don't get the gist of what's going on, and it's wrong. So I hope this video helps the people that's contacted myself. I will do another couple of videos, people, for the people that's asked me to do this, to try and put them on a direction so they can educate themselves from where I started them off. It's okay people telling people this and people telling people that, but for the people that's just waking up, they have to be kind of broke in so they understand the gist of what's going on. You can't hit them with all sorts of information even though it's true, because you confuse them and you upset them and you put them off what they're trying to achieve. And we don't want that. We want more and more people to waken up. Again, this is to the people on the video that asked for myself today a wee bit of basic information, and I hope I've gave a wee bit of basic information here to these people. And for the people out there that understand and know what's going on, please, if there's other people there that you're trying to waken up and you're having a hard time, please share this information on this video. It's all true and accurate, as all information I put on my videos is. If you like this information, people, please subscribe to my channel on YouTube. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video. Again, I'll be back online with a lot of videos, more information explaining the fraud and the crimes being committed against the people. And everything I put on the video channel, people, I can verify it and document, as people know. I have a good credibility with the people and a good standing as far as I'm aware. If I've not, please let me know on my video channel with one of your comments. Anyway, people, I'm going to leave it there. Take care, be safe, and have a good day. Bye bye.